Okay, hello everybody. Why people avoid therapy? Why people go to high ticket coaches, life coaches, go to retreats, go to therapy adjacent practices. So that's what we're going to chat about today. That's what we're going to chat about today. So, if you're like, by the way, if you're on replay crew, I love you. Like, I know people can make a to a live stream every single time. So, like, yeah, everybody, like replay crew, like, I absolutely love that you're here. So, and I need therapists in this discussion, live stream or post live stream. I need therapists to put your input, and also at the end of this live stream, what you're gonna walk away with is the actual like not necessarily. I don't want to call it strategy because like I can't give you a strategy without knowing your unique business, but a food for thought, like one moving needle activity. I will tell you how I personally invest in therapy and how I look for therapists. And listen, I am a person who invests in coaching. And we're also going to talk about the buying triggers for coaching. Because, like, for example, why people buy business coaching. And a lot of people who buy business coaching, they should be in therapy first because they buy business coaching as a way to regulate their nervous system. Business coaches are not equipped to do that. They don't have the clarity. They don't have the energy of self. Hello, IFS. They don't have the clarity. They don't have the calmness. They don't have the connectedness with others. They think that, like, okay, this lady, this man who made like $1 million running online business, they can absolutely do it for me. So let me just pay them. Let me just abdicate my agency to that person. And then like I will be good. Listen, this is a real problem. And this is a real buying trigger for those people. And therapy, like this is like I think this is such a missed opportunity for therapists. This is such a missed opportunity for therapists. Absolutely. Hey, welcome. I see people on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for joining. Like, I really appreciate everybody who is commenting. So, uh, and like, if you're like, listen, share this live stream. If you're not a therapist, share this live stream with your therapist friends. Like, they're gonna watch a replay on if they can join us. That would be amazing. So, what to do? So, I think this is exact. By the way, this is what I'm going to talk about in my podcast next week. Um, so like what I'm doing, like I do live streams, I do podcast. So on the same topic from different angles. But the first, like I think the first thing that is important to understand for therapists, how people end up in therapy chair, how therapy clients end up in therapy chair. And this is the bitten topic for customer journey, right? Like, okay, what is the customer journey? And you're rolling your eyes, but I need you to stop for a second and like really think about what brings people to therapy, how they search for a therapist, what is the decision making process, why they would go with a therapist who, let's say, on psychology on today taking insurance, but and like they're good therapists. Like I don't want to diminish them. Like they go there or they look at psychology today. They search for therapists in their area, and they think, you know what, I want to run a business. So why don't I buy business coaching, for example, right? Or like I'm so burnt out from my corporate career. I'm done with corporate. I will start building business. So who do I need to, like, what do I need to do? Like, oh, here's this business coaching. I will invest in that rather than therapy. But one thing that I did when I started my business, I actually invested in both, in therapist and a business coach, and it was such a great investment because there's a lot. Like business, running a business is going to be the most clarifying, the most the most honest experience, like who you are as a person. And yes, coaching is essential. It is a very good thing to have, but also therapy, because like until you bring self energy into your business, until you're running your business as your true self, and in internal family and system therapy, or philosophy rather, the energy of self is never injured, never damaged. It's pure consciousness, and it has the clarity, it has connectedness, it has calmness, it has creativity, it has I think I said clarity, it has courage, it has all of those beautiful qualities that entrepreneurs need right now, right here and right now. And until you are unblocking this energy, then like you can't run your business. The same thing for retreats, right? How people will go on the Bali retreat before they, like, some people before they will go to therapy. But why? Because number one is like customer journey. Number two is, and by the way, if you're thinking about, if you're a therapist and you're thinking about like what is the marketing journey for my client, I do have a live stream. I do have a podcast episode on the topic on Heart and Profit podcast. So like go and look. And if you listen to the episode, watch the live stream, still have questions, send me a DM. Like, it's not like, this is not a pitch, by the way. Like, I really like helping therapists is really personal for me as a person who work as a clinical psychologist, and who knows that like sometimes it is really hard to connect your therapist identity to, like, okay, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a marketer, like I need to market myself, like those connections are not always connecting really well. So sent me a DM. Like, I really would like to have a conversation with you. Number two, like why people choose coaches, because like marketing, like it's marketing. It's marketing. It's how people position themselves. It's how people message, and it's marketing. And really good coaches who are really profitable, what they all have in common, they have a niche, they have a clear niche. And I actually was looking at my content calendar, and I thought, like, you know what, instead of like, I actually modify my content calendar, and I will be talking about niches, three profitable niches for therapists specifically, because there's such a missed opportunity. And it's not about the niche. It's not just about the niche. It's not just about the niche. It's about clarity. It's about clarity of who you are. It's about clarity of your expertise. And it's about you showing up and showing out. So, and like, stay tuned. And if you're interested in niche specific content for therapists, profitable niches, send me a DM with the word niche. I will mark on my task to send you direct message when those episodes are ready. And obviously follow, subscribe, whatever you need to do on social, on YouTube, on Instagram, on like wherever you see this live stream right now. So But let's talk about marketing specifically. When it comes to like therapists and marketing for therapists specifically, it's not psychoeducation because psychoeducation is not marketing. Talking like psychoeducation is a part of marketing. Yes, like this is how you show your expertise, but also talking about experiences. Because unless you're marketing to me, educated mental health professional, or a person or a psych student who would like to be a therapist, and by the way, uh, this can be a niche, and we're going to talk about that in the in niche category, like educational niche for therapists for therapists who teach therapists how to run therapy practice. Like this is the whole thing, like right. Like you can listen. I don't want to jump way too far into it. So, but like that can be a niche. But if your target audience is not a therapist, is not a clinician who knows really well like this lingo, like what is a therapy, what is different diagnosis, I would highly advise to switch to storytelling. Describe instead of say, hey, like if you're feeling stressed or if you're feeling depressed or if you're feeling anxious or if you're feeling or people with PTSD or people with complex PTSD, explain the experiences. Like yes, you can say the diagnosis, of course, but I will give you an example. I am watching one therapist, and I talked about him before. He's a gay therapist for gay men, and he describes my experiences so deeply that I was like, "Oh my God!" He's like watching me. And because like he describes my experiences so well, because he knows his clientele so well, and it's really deep. Like the same thing for like, and this is one of the examples for the messaging. The better you know your expertise, the better you know your the most people that you want to work with, your niche, and your niche can be a group of people, it can be a topic, or it can be education. Like we again, like I'm going to break it down in further live streams. But what I want you to walk away with is like really how you like when you show up on like even on Psychology Today, when you show up on Psychology Today, like what is the start? Like, how do you start your Psychology Today profile? Is it about me, myself, and I? Like, I'm clinical, this and that, or is it about your customer? Like, that's important in social media content on Instagram, on YouTube, on Threads. When you talk about therapy services, do you do you talk about their experiences or your expertise? Because like listen, you don't have to prove anyone your expertise. You have license. And for the line, like you can briefly talk about your journey as a therapist that you like it's a master's level degree. It's 3,000 hours of supervision before you get your license. You have to pass the board exam, and which is like really like it's which is really tough. Like I'm literally looking at the book for the exam for licensed mental health counselors, and I was looking through the questions and like the listen, like I mean, if you went to school, they make sense, but like this is tough. So you don't have to prove your expertise online, but when you talk about experiences of other people, what they're going through, then that makes a difference. Then that makes a difference. Let me know in the comments if that makes sense. Let me know in the comments. And also, like, even if you're not a therapist and you found a therapist online, not just through Psychology Today, what was that experience if you're open to sharing? For example, uh, I like early on, like the best psychologists and the best counselors that I know online that I found authors, thought leaders, they are either on YouTube, and YouTube, by the way, is really good platform for thought leadership. It's not about ease and flow. It's about, like, like if you do it for a while, then like people start finding you, right? So, but like those people, they they do a lot of psychoeducation, like, and that speaks to me. But also, when people talk about experiences, when people put entertainment videos and like, you might be thinking, how do I put entertainment videos like as a therapist? And this is a really great question. Some therapists that I absolutely here for, they review like TV shows as a therapist, and I'm here for it. I'm a- I'm absolutely here for it. So, hello, Christy. So I'm absolutely here for it. So yeah, Christy says that makes sense. So experiences, because like here's the thing, like this is you're gonna hear in my podcast next week, but what I want you to like also understand, if you're a therapist and you're looking for a business coach, a lot of business coaches will tell you this concept of program promise. You have to, in your marketing, you have to promise something. Can you promise healing? Can you promise that person with ADHD will be more regulated, or people with complex PTSD will find peace in, like, in certainty? No, you can. I mean, that's not ethical, right? And also, like, you have a license, and like, if you're over promising or misleading in your marketing, it can create problems with your licensing and the whole thing. But what you can promise the experience that you're going to provide. That is absolutely a valid promise. Absolutely valid promise. Absolutely ethical. You can do psychoeducation in your, again, psychoeducation is not marketing, but in your marketing, when you do storytelling, when you when you laser focus, when you're very specific, you can actually do psychoeducation and say, hey, by the way, um, according, and you have clinical data, according to the data, this percentage of people who used cognitive behavior therapy, internal family system, whatever, like whatever methodology that you're using on talk therapy, they have such and such and such and such. And this is why. You can also educate people how to find a therapist, because maybe people who invest $10,000 and more in coaching, maybe before they do that or as they do that, they will also invest in therapy, because again, those buying triggers, right? Like, know your customer, right? And if you know that your customer is like buying coaching, which is perfectly fine, but they're not that, but they're avoiding therapy, call it out. Call it out in the open. Say it as it is. And on Instagram, I mean, like recently I've been really focusing on Instagram. I hear a lot of therapists would say, well, like coaching and like therapy adjacent practices, and it's so hard for therapists to make any money because of coaches. But and the industry is so fragmented. Like, this is what came up this morning. This is not the problem. The fragmented industry, yes, it is a challenge, but this is not a problem. It's just like a lot of therapists who I know, like wonderful therapists running private practice, they don't show up. They don't show up online with thought leadership at all. And what coaches do, they barely read like polyvagal theory, and they run their Instagram account like they're neuroscientists. and they know all about nervous system and nervous system regulation, and they do not. Like they like it's not about being unhinged, but it's about bringing that thought leadership. Listen, if a person who just got familiar with like basic psychological concepts can run their mouth on Instagram like they're expert in human psychology and nervous system regulation, and they don't have the degree, they don't have supervised hours, they don't have expertise, and you do, so can you. So can you. We don't have enough qualified voices. And then we have, on the other side, we have breath work coaches say, my breath work session is worth than 10 years of therapy. Bullshit. This is unethical marketing. For some people, it can be true. Some people might go to therapy for 10 years, then they go to breathwork session, and it changes their life instantaneously. And by the way, when people experience heightened, elevated emotions, of course, they're going to think that what they experience in breathwork session is worth than 10 years of therapy. But I would like to track the data. I would like to track the data, what happens a year after that breathwork session. As the change that they received in breathwork session is sticking for a long time. And do they have self-regulation tool that therapists can actually provide them, and the changes they can actually sustain? So, and see, like those claims are out there, but there are not enough therapists who calmly, not angrily, will actually address like, hey, there's a statement that breath work that replaces 10 years of therapy. Let's talk about it. So, and you can scientifically show like, okay, yes, breath work can help. Absolutely. Why that statement is problematic? Education. And then before you know it, people will choose you as a therapist. And it's not about like, listen, I live with abundance mindset, because there are enough people who would like to have transformation, who would like to have change, who like spirituality, supernatural stuff, and personal development, like myself, and they love business coaching, like myself, but they also will invest in therapy and get really vulnerable. And by the way, what therapists can provide, because therapy is 101, therapy is really deep. Uh, Based on my experience, not a lot of coaches provide those experiences. And this is what people are looking in 2026. Because, like, listen, I'm looking for both, for a therapist and for a business coach. And for me, like, I want personalized experiences in both. And I know for a fact I will get personalized experience with a therapist versus business coach. I hope it works. I hope it sticks. I hope it sticks. Let me know if it resonates. Let me know if it resonates, because the idea that I want to, the simple idea that will move forward your practice today, if tomorrow you wake up, pick up the phone, record reel for Instagram, and start talking about experiences, start talking about storytelling, like do storytelling, do thought leadership, that will move the needle. Not overnight, but the more you do it, like you do it over and over and over and over again, then you will see the like. Then you will see. Then you will see the difference. You will see the difference. Now, listen. If you are a therapist and you're looking for a business coach, I do have few spots available. This is personal for me. Okay, this is personal for me. And this is not just a coaching pitch like, hey, like, this is my program. sent me a DM, whatever. No, this is personal to me because I work as a clinical psychologist in Russia. I relocated to the United States 12 years ago. And when I was navigating mental health, behavioral health industry, that was challenging for me to see it like the how I can support my family. It's not about just getting rich, getting, you know, it was not about that. This is my soul calling. And 10 years ago, I did not see anyone, unfortunately, who can show me the way that you can actually run successful private practice as a therapist. And I made a switch, made a pivot in my career in tech. And running a business, seeing wonderful private practices, creating difference, creating wealth. This is why I like after working with service-based entrepreneurs, helping them to do speaking engagements that brought them clients and brought them visibility, helping them with messaging, helping them with sales, and bringing, by the way, the 10 years of experience from tech, because like in tech, you learn a lot about business. You learn a, you learn a lot what actually works, the marketing, the positioning, the testing, bringing it to therapists and see, hey, this is what is available. Like if a consultant can run a podcast and book $24,000 in one single week, therapists can not, again, not an income claim, but therapists can expand their influence like that. If a tech expert can network locally, don't spend a lot of time on social media, speak on local stages, and land consulting clients, private clients, coaching clients, so can therapists. And for therapists, it's different. So my program is $3,000 for 6 months. This is no brainer investment in comparison what you see in the market. And this is, by the way, this is like I'm not trying to win on price. I'm doing it because, like, first of all, I want this to be accessible for therapists, and number two, I only work with few, like three, four therapists at a time because I do have another engagements, I do have another projects that I'm running, and this is really personal to me. So like we're gonna address the business strategy, we're gonna address the marketing, we're gonna address the messaging, we're gonna address the positioning, and more importantly, underneath of it all, I'm using internal family system as a foundation because until you have embodied energy of your higher self, your true self, no marketing, no strategy, no methodology, no business advice will ever work for you because your protective parts will play the game and they're not playing the game effectively. Your reactive parts will play the game and they're not playing the game effectively. Uh, your exiles will be activated in everything. Like, listen, running a business, it is like listen, every single exile in me, like literally, like, hello, I'm like right here. So it is $3,000. It is for 6 months. It is one-on-one with me. It is not group because I want to give you personalized attention for your business, and I'm working with you, and we meet every single week. I There is a hypnosis hypnotherapy option as well. It is a choice. Like if you're not into that, like we don't have to do that. But if you dive deeper, like That's an option as well. And by the way, I do have hypnosis recordings. It's on my website and self-regulation tool. So you can see how you like it. But the core premise of the program is really diving deeper into your private practice. Like diversification of your income, because like one-on-one therapy only, it doesn't have to be the only bread and butter that you do. If you like it, if you don't want it to be, like, there are other ways to bring income. There are other ways to diversify. And how? It will depend on your choices. Just know thyself. And until you like, and this is the core premise of my program, know thyself. Self leadership and self-led business, because you can't have self-led business if you're not operating from self-leadership. This is so essential. So, how to enroll in my program? Send me a DM. I will send you all of the details. I want to have a conversation with you to make sure that it's a right fit indeed. Understand your needs, the level of needs, the level of care that you need from me. And if I can provide that level of care, if you resonate with my approach, if it is a right fit, it's $3,000. You can, like, we can get started immediately. And it's one-on-one. It's one-on-one with me, and I always connect my clients with my other clients. So not only you will have access to other therapists who are working with me, but also with my like consulting clients, right? Consultants and coaches and experts that I worked before, and like, I mean, either like networking with them or having them as a client if they choose to. All right. Thank you so much. I love you all. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it. And I will see you in my next podcast or live stream. Thank you so much for